Welcome back, Foundlings. I am Quentin, your GM, here for a Tale of Remembrance, a spin-off session using the Pathfinder 1st Edition system with none other than my lovely player to my right.
Well, they can't see that I'm to the right, but hi, it's me. My name is Emily, and I am playing Aurora today in this episode. Aurora is an elf who has lost most of her memories, and she is currently being followed by a white wolf for some reason.
Indeed, when last we left off, Emily, your character found herself in a gazebo lined with opaque white curtains at the center of some fantastical garden. You were drawn here by the very layout of the garden itself, but your interest was further piqued by a silhouette of a figure standing in the gazebo. The last thing you recall as you entered was a familiar, soft voice offering tea. And now, before you sits a slender woman in a slim black dress, much like your own. She has pale skin and sharp features, but an overall soft demeanor as she looks upon you. She currently has her arm outstretched and offering you an ornate porcelain cup.
Aurora looks at this woman, unsure of how to respond, and for a moment she remains silent until she finally speaks up and walks over, sitting down nearby. Yes, well, thank you. And she'll take the cup.
I'm glad to see you're getting along quite nicely. Was rather worried about you there for a moment.
Wait, you know who I am?
Let's just say I've been watching over you the past couple days, making sure you don't get too lost. Thankfully, due to your faithful little wolf, there was no need for my intervention.
So the wolf is mine then?
Well, he certainly has taken a liking to you, wouldn't it seem?
I suppose so. Now, if you know who I am, can you please at least tell me that much?
You're an old friend of mine, though you are always rather shrouded in mystery. I was hoping that this experience would bring us closer together.
I must say, if you expect an experience of me not understanding who I am to bring us closer together, then you must be mistaken. I don't know who you are, and yet you know me. And here we are playing word games.
I can be whatever you want me to be. A powerful ally, a guardian angel, or a terrible foe. But as I mentioned, let's just say I'm an old friend.
Well, again, if you are an old friend, then why don't you tell me who I am? Or at least direct me where I need to go to find this out.
A journey in finding oneself is not so easily started, but acknowledgement and the first step is always a great place. But as she speaks, you abruptly hear a jarring, omnipresent sound. It seems as if it's a loud knocking, ringing in your head, and it seems to transcend and shake the very reality you're in. Oh, pity. Well, I guess we'll have to follow up later then. It's time for you to go.
Wait, at least tell me who you are.
Time is short, but no, if you ever need any help, use this. And she places a small silk bag in your hand.
Aurora looks down at the bag in her hand and looks very confused at it, and then she looks back up.
As you begin to look back up, the knocking seems to continue and grow louder, in fact, until it's almost dizzying, and you close your eyes but for a mere moment until you open them again. But when you do, you find yourself laying down in a bed. As you instinctually begin to take inventory of your surroundings, you recall that you're in the room provided for you at the Broken Wagon Inn. It dawns on you that the only things that you have brought with you are the clothes on your back and the wolf, which is lying next to you on the floor, basking in a beam of sunlight that is streaming through the windows. Once again, you hear a knocking at the door. Though significantly less jarring, it's a polite and simple 3 raps on a door, much less migraine-inducing than the constant and belligerent pounding in your skull that had awoken you.
One moment. She sits up from the bed, and she looks over to where the chair was in front of the fireplace, and she's very confused now about how she got from the chair into the bed. Odd. She looks down at the wolf.
The wolf looks back up at you, kind of like stretching in the early morning sunlight, seeing as it is quite comfortable where he is, and just looks at you. Oh.
Excuse me, and she steps over him to get to the door.
All right, making your way to the door, you try the handle. However, you find it strangely locked.
I'm sorry, I can't seem to open the door. It's locked.
You hear no response. Nothing but the sound of silence.
I look over towards where the key was placed on the bed. I mean, not on the bed, but on the
Nightstand?
nightstand.
The dresser
yeah.
drawer next to you.
So I look over to where the key was placed the previous evening on the nightstand.
Indeed, it is there.
And then I look down at the handle on the door. Is there a keyhole?
Indeed, there is.
I walk over to where the key is and I pick it up.
Nice.
Yes. Well,
Da-da-da-da. You have a key.
so there was no latch or anything on the door?
There's a handle and a keyhole.
All right. So she'll walk back over and unlock the door, but pause for a second. I don't remember locking the door. She unlocks the door or attempts to unlock it.
You unlock it with ease, as this is the key for that hole. Opening the door, you see that there is a small weaved basket, which contains a bit of folded cloth. On top of it, though, there appears to be a note.
I lean down and I pick up the note and I read it.
It appears as if it is a note from Matthew, and it reads, "When I came up, I noticed that the door was locked. So I figured you must have wanted some privacy after your long journey. I found this for you. Hopefully it fits and finds you well. If so, you're more than welcome to keep it." Setting aside the note, you pick up the cloth, and you find that it is a deep maroon dress with gold trim. By the way it is cut, you can tell that it is meant to be a long dress, but it seems that it might have been custom tailored for someone surprisingly slightly taller than yourself, though it seems as if it might have been hastily and rather shabbily hemmed at the bottom sometime recently.
Well, I guess it'll have to do. And she'll look at her current slip and just quickly smell it. Does it stink?
I mean, you woke up laying in the middle of the forest. It smells like the great outdoors, and mixed with a little bit of perspiration.
I should probably have this cleaned. I don't really have anything for that. She'll go back in the room and close the door behind her. She will take off the slip for now, but now she's essentially not clothed, and it's a little odd, but she'll slip on the outerwear dress just over top of herself. I'll just have to go get this cleaned really quickly, and then I'll change back into it. Hopefully this is what is considered appropriate, or at least passable.
Having changed and I guess touting the black slip over your arm, how are you carrying it? You don't really have a bag or anything.
She has it folded over her arm.
Okay.
So
You're ready to take on the world.
she stops before she leaves and she looks down just to double check that she doesn't have the silk bag that she got in the dream.
You look around the room briefly and notice that there actually does appear to be a black silk bag lying on the bed next to you where you woke up.
Do I feel like there's anything inside of it when I pick it up?
It feels rather light, but it does have contents.
All right. I definitely did not have this before I went to sleep. That was a strange dream. And she said to use this if I needed her. I don't exactly understand what that means. Let me just take a peek. And she'll just pull open the top of the bag just to look and see what's inside.
Opening up the pouch ever so slightly and peeking inside, it's a very small pouch that fits comfortably in your hand, and you can, using your fingers, kind of feel down at the bottom and see inside, and it appears as if it's a small handful of seeds at the bottom.
Can I roll knowledge nature to attempt to identify the seeds?
Sure.
The total is 17.
It's kind of hard to tell what they might be because, seeds, right? But you're thinking that it might be, given the context, maybe some type of flower seed.
Interesting. Am I able to recall what flowers were in the garden?
Thinking back to your experience, your dream, whatever it may have been, you do recall that there were numerous types of flowers in the garden, rose bushes to orchids, all manner of things, but there was a large number of white lilies surrounding the gazebo in your vision.
Interesting. Well, I suppose if I need her, I will plant these. Now that I think about it, I don't have anything to plant it in. Nor do I have funds. Nor do I have most other things. Oh, what am I going to do, Wolf?
Oh?
You don't know either, huh? I suppose we could walk around town and beg for food like you do. But of course I must be above that.
Oh.
She laughs and pats him on his back. All right, dear wolf. Let's head back downstairs.
He gets up, stretches his leg with his butt in the air, his forepaws outstretched before him, tail sticking straight up, lets out a big yawn as his tongue sticks out of his mouth, and then begins to follow after you. As you descend the staircase, you find that the Broken Wagon Inn is surprisingly more populated than the previous night. Perhaps it was the weather that kept the patrons away, but you notice as you descend the stairs this morning, it appears to be quite lively. And you hear Matthew's voice call out as he hears that you are coming down from upstairs. Morning, Miss Aurora. Could I interest you in some breakfast?
Good morning, Matthew. She pauses for a moment, thinking again about the lack of income or funds that she has, but then she thinks better of it. I would be appreciative.
Saying this, your attention is drawn over to the bar, where before Matthew you actually see 3 patrons sitting there, talking and laughing quite boisterously as they seem to be enjoying a plate of eggs and cured meats. All right, Miss Aurora. I'll be right on it. Lads, try not to bother her too much. And it seems as if Matthew steps to the back.
Okay. And you said there were 3 men, basically, at the bar?
Looking closer, there are 3 individuals. They look like average run-of-the-mill farmers. A little young, perhaps, maybe in their late teenage years. The 2 of them on the left both have shaggy blonde hair, and the last boy on the right has black hair with green eyes. All of them are wearing tan clothes stained with dirt and have tattered straw hats. Though, regardless of whatever hardships that it is that befalls them, they seem to be having a very jubilant conversation and mourning. Oh, remember that time when the fight broke out between the 2 of you over the chicken? Oh, yeah, of course. That's when we decided to douse him in the pig slops. But I wasn't going to give up after you threw a little muck in my eye. I ran in and tackled you good. Made sure that you were thoroughly covered by the time you got home.
She listens to the conversation, but she doesn't interact. She instead just walks over to an open seat at the bar.
Taking your time and waiting, eventually Matthew does return, and he offers you a small plate of eggs and cured meats. And having taken note of the previous evening, it even seems that there is a spare dinner roll.
She eats the dinner roll first, and she throws a little bit of meat to the large wolf behind her.
Though Matthew seems to be tending to various glasses, dishes, and other chore-like things around the tavern, he does seem to glance in your direction and smile slightly as he sees you enjoying your dinner roll.
So Aurora will finish up her meal, and pretty much as soon as she's done that, she will get up from the table and move over to where Matthew is.
It seems as if he has joined in to the conversation with the 3 young lads. Oh, sure. And then I had to escort both of you by the scruff of your necks back home to your mother, because you were all tussling around all day, none of the work got done. She thoroughly dunked you both into the river until you shivered off all the muck on your clothes.
Matthew.
Pardon me, boys. Yes, Aurora.
Do you happen to... I heard you speaking of a river. Is there anyone nearby? I do need to go and wash this. And she holds out the black slip.
Well, there are a few wells in town where you could fetch some from. Other than that, you find the river outside of the main gates.
Thank you. GM?
Yeah?
Can my character recall where, if Travis was coming back here, if I was supposed to meet him somewhere?
You were told that Harrison would fetch you in the morning.
Okay, Harrison would. She doesn't see an issue in going out momentarily towards the front gate, since that's where she saw Harry Boy earlier the previous evening, so she'll just head out.
Okay. Making leave of the tavern after having finished your scrumptious breakfast, you leave the tavern in quite a joyous state.
Am I able to find my way?
Please roll a survival check for me to see how well you navigate this city.
It's a 9. Oh, I'm very good at this.
You're the best.
Come, dear wolf, we are going to go get some water. Perhaps you need a bath.
So you begin walking about the city. It has very large walls, very expansive and well-built infrastructure. There are numerous buildings, paved roads, a drainage sewer system of sorts as the rain from the previous evening is not laying all about the streets. It has the size of the city, though it does seem to be lacking in current population from what you've seen, as you don't really see anyone around.
She thinks to herself, it's very quiet here. It goes along with what Matthew was saying about people having left this city in droves.
No.
Let's just find this river. He said it was somewhere by the front gate. That shouldn't be too difficult to find.
She says, getting lost.
Wolf, is this the same direction that we came from yesterday?
Your wolf seems confused as well. Much more akin to the outdoors and the smells that it brings.
I'm sure it's hard to determine where anything is, seeing that the rain must have muddled the scents from yesterday.
You find yourself walking through the city, somewhat lost. And in fact, you do reach a gate-ish area, but it seems like you have managed to find yourself deeper into the heart of the city rather than to the outside. And coming up upon this gate, you actually also notice that it is quite lively here as well. Before you, you find these tall, massive walls, taller than the outside walls of the city, it would seem, and breaking the silence of what has been a more or less desolate place void of people, there's the sound of loud, boisterous laughter coming from inside these massive walls with a large double wooden gate.
Do there appear to be people who look like guards or just other people that seem to know the area? Some NPC I could approach?
Certainly. Over by the gate of this wall and also standing on top of walls, you notice some individuals wearing dark cloaks in full plate armor, kind of patrolling about. In fact, as you were walking around the city, you noticed small platoons of them as well, and whenever you would see a carriage come or go through the city, it seemed as if one of these individuals would be steering or riding on the carriages.
Aurora will urge the wolf towards one of these individuals, or at least towards a platoon if that's all she can find.
You can find that there are two individuals currently standing in front of a large wooden gate.
She'll ride towards them.
State your business.
I'm sorry. I'm simply a bit lost. I'm trying to find the gate that leads to a nearby river.
That's the eastern gate,
And this direction is?
the center of town.
Yes, but how do I get from here to the eastern gate?
You follow the main road. You came down. You just walk the other way.
So, just turn around and follow the road.
Go straight. Yeah. Ma'am, are you feeling well?
Yes, well, not exactly, but mostly. I'm just trying to find my way to the river. That's all.
All right. Best of luck. Don't fall in.
And the other guard chuckles at that.
She'll turn the wolf around and try to follow the main road that she came down.
Now, having been guided and given some directions by these mysterious guards of the town, you find yourself literally turning around and going back the way you came.
Well, that was an adventure.
As you're walking back down this main street, you are about to pass the Broken Wagon Inn yet again, but you see that there appears to be a large hooded wagon stopped outside, and there seems to be more of these black-cloaked individuals waiting.
Do I recognize this wagon or from like the caravan, or is this a whole new wagon?
This would be a new wagon. Not one you've seen before.
Okay, does it look... can I just get a closer look about it? Is it more ornate, or is it really just kind of run down, shabby?
It seems to be a maintained but very basic wooden wagon with a black tarp thrown over the top of it. It seems to be rather wide, as if it is meant for delivering some form of cargo. There appears to be two people up at the front at the wagon, one of them by which a driver, and it is pulled by 4 horses. Outside of that, there are 2 other men standing by the back, and I need you to roll both a perception check and a stealth check if you are trying not to be seen on your large wolf, which are riding down the main street.
She'll stop on the wolf at a distance since she's able to see it, And since she's not sure about what is going on, she will...
Cast Suffocate! Circle of Death!
I didn't get any of my stuff yet. I can't.
Are you also trying to go down to the river to find some clay?
Yeah. I was gonna go wash up and all that. So she'll slide off the wolf and instead walk to the left side of him.
Okay.
Basically on the opposite side, but...
Okay.
Wolf, let me know if anything strange happens as we walk by. Yes, be casual. Be casual. So you said perception first?
Perception first, and if you're trying to be nonchalant about it, roll
My
stealth.
perception total is a 13. Wolf's is 26.
You can sense that the wolf, at the very least, is very on guard, as if he is aware of something in which you cannot see. Perhaps there are more of these guards of sorts about.
My stealth was a 6.
You're kind of like tripping and stumbling and literally just walking down the middle of the street.
I don't have shoes, so I'm probably like stepping on rocks and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it hurts and you're like jumping around. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah. Wolf will roll his stealth, but it's...
Yeah, he's big boy. He's only at a -2, -4, something like that.
Well, it's applied to his total already.
Okay, cool.
So don't subtract from that. It's a 16 for his stealth.
Wow. Well, he's doing pretty good.
Stupid rocks. That's how I feel.
You can get a sense from the wolf that perhaps there are more of these individuals in which you cannot see. But they do seem to be stopped by Matthew's Tavern. Maybe they went inside.
Not my business. And besides, I need to get cleaned up quickly. Let's just move towards the gate.
Well, you are on the main street, and they are kind of in between you and the gate. I will throw that out there.
Okay.
The gate is like a mile down the road.
Okay.
This is the main street. Matthew's Tavern's right in front of you, effectively.
Okay.
About a good 100 feet.
Well, she doesn't see a reason to be, she doesn't see a reason of why they would bother her, so she's just going to keep walking and try to move past them with the wolf.
All right, sounds good. Go to walk around them. They don't seem to stop you or have any problem with you. You just keep walking forward, but eventually you do hear that the tavern door of the Broken Wagon Inn was opened.
I'll just listen behind me if you're interested in me rolling a perception to listen. 28.
All right, boys. Pull round the side. We're able to pick up the shipment early.
And you see as another black-cloaked individual has made their way outside of the tavern and is gesturing for the wagon to be pulled around this side alleyway, to which everyone stirs forward and goes down this back alleyway right beside Matthew's Tavern.
Must be the tax collectors he was talking about, but it is not my problem at this time. Let's just go to the river, dear wolf.
All right. Making your way, you do reach the same city gates which you came through last evening. They're kind of large and currently closed. I will throw that out there.
I look to see if there's any sort of mechanism I can use to open it.
Looking around the initial archway where the gate is, you do not see anything, but you do recall that Harrison last evening came through this smaller wooden door, which is on the side of the archway, which seemed to lead into some internal structure.
I wish there was an easier way to make this thing open and close. Okay, I believe I recall where he opened up the door originally. She'll look up really quick to see if anyone is up at the top of the gate.
It appears as if these outer walls, as juxtaposed to the inner walls you saw previously, are completely unguarded. There doesn't seem to be any of the black-cloaked individuals patrolling around here.
How are you supposed to leave if no one is there to man the gate? Such a shoddy town. She'll go over to where the door is. Guess I'll have to do everything myself. And she'll try to open it.
It seems to be latched from the inside.
Oh, man. Okay. You cannot go out this way. Must find another way.
Or just, break down the door. I don't care.
Well, Wolf, what do you think? You want to break the door? You want to charge at the door?
He seems to be sniffing at the base of the door.
All right. Wolf, if that is what you want, I will Stand back and keep watch, I suppose.
Roll the wolf's strength check for me to see if he can break down this door.
Strength scores a 25 with a mod of 7. 19.
You see as the wolf reels back and then begins to charge at the door and then turns his head at the last second to kind of ram his shoulder into it. And you do hear the cracking and splintering of wood, but it doesn't seem as if it is open yet.
Well, Wolf, if we destroy their door, we prove they don't have good defenses.
And he's rearing back and he goes in for a second charge.
But if you do it again and we break the door, we'll have to pay for that.
And it seems as if he was able to successfully break through whatever lever was blocking his way.
Well, not my problem then. I suppose we'll just deny all plausible circumstances. Hold on, Wolf, I'm coming. And she runs out.
You run in after him to find him already in this kind of small, roomish area. It seems unkempt, but somewhat lived in.
All right. Wolf, stand guard.
The wolf is currently inside the small room in which the door was barring you from.
Okay. She walks in. Stand guard. Stay here. I'll be right back. You wanted the food.
And you see as his snout is currently in a large bag underneath the bed.
I'd call you a fat lard, but I realize you need to eat. Very well, if this is what you must do to survive.
You see that this room has a small bed, a shelf of sorts, and a desk which seems to have papers scattered all about it. But there is also a staircase leading up to some other floor.
She'll quickly walk around the room, perusing what the papers are, and then proceed upstairs.
The papers seem to be transcripts, journal entries of sorts, if you would, indicating the happenings of intermittently viewed days from this outpost.
I look at the one that looks the most recent.
And you read, a strange happening occurred this past evening. A woman riding a very large canine came before the gate. A rather peculiar, though intriguing individual. I couldn't keep my eyes off her, but her temperament was rather odd. Not exactly unpolite, but, she seems to be rather reserved. I offered her my cloak and sent her on her way, but she would only allow me to give it to her wolf. Hopefully all finds her well, and Sir Travis Prescott is able to help her. I believe her name was Aurora. I'll have to remember that one.
That's funny. She doesn't know what to think of that, but she'll take the page.
Very nice. All right, you fold the page in half and tuck it inside your dress?
Yes.
As you look around, you are able to find some small odds and ends around here. Stacks of papers, inkwells, pens, a small leather satchel, in fact, and a few provisions, apples of sorts, and some kind of stale bread.
She'll go up the stairs at this point.
All right, making your way up the stairs. They seem to go up for quite a ways. In fact, basically spanning the entire height of the wall. You're going up around about 20 feet of stairs until you finally reach the top, where is the top of the wall structure, and you see that it's somewhat underneath a roof, but you do see a lever up there.
This must be the way to open the gate. She'll attempt to pull the lever.
Roll strength.
If it's a pull maneuver, I don't need to roll with my 2 mod. I should be able to pull.
Yeah, with your 2 modifier, you were able to successfully heave back. It seems a little rusted, not very well kept. The rain last night probably didn't help as it dried, and you pull back on it. And it does seem that the gates eventually do begin to creak and swing inward.
All right, we got it. All right, Wolf. She'll run back down the stairs in her bare feet.
Currently, he has the entire bag pulled out from underneath the bed. His head is currently inside it.
Wolf.
And he turns with the bag still on his head. It seems as if it is empty now, but he's still looking around for more food. The bag is stuck, though.
What kind of bag is it?
It's just a pretty standard, burlap sack.
Good job, Wolf. We'll need this. She'll take the sack off his face.
Oh. He seems excited and happy that he could help.
Perfect. When we go down to the river, we'll collect some clay. I think it'll be useful. I don't know. I just keep getting this feeling that I need items for things. You know those things that we did the other day? Yes, the magic stuff. Why is that what killed you? Yeah. I get this feeling that there are some things I have in my memory that need these different things, and I feel like clay is one of them. Yes, I know, it sounds weird. Let's just go.
And you take your leave of this small, little, well-used room, and you shut the broken door behind you, out of courtesy, of course. After breaking, entering, and robbing, you wish to leave it better than you found it, and you make your way out to the river just outside town.
I just imagine, did the door, crumble or is broken, certain places where there's, shattered wood?
There are wood splinters on the ground. It was more so that the door itself is intact. It's that there was a wooden bar, effectively, placed, because the door swings inward, so there was a wooden...
How did he get out? Yeah, that's not how that works.
No, it is. You didn't know about the secret entrance.
The one that you just made up?
Yes. No, I told you he climbed down the side of the wall the other time.
No, he came down.
I hit a ladder. There's a ladder to go up.
Oh, so you're making it up now?
No, there's a ladder to go up. I have it written right here in the material you're skipping.
Well, then what was the point of him closing the door?
Make sure people didn't break in.
All right, so she'll ride the wolf. I just imagine he comes back. I've been robbed, and they took this one journal entry. What if they're after Miss Aurora? Is someone looking for you, Miss Aurora? Somebody took my journal entry detailing your arrival. My room was just in shambles. The food was gone. The sack, there was broken wood everywhere.
This is now canon.
Okay, please make it happen.
You begin to make your way outside the village until you do come across a small wooded area by the river. It is very peaceful and quiet here. You're kind of aside the main road, a good distance away though, so nothing really seems to be bothering you.
All right. She will ride the wolf over to the water and look at him. Now's your chance to get as much as you need. Also, bathroom's over there. Don't do it near the water. Yes, but you don't want to pee and poop where you drink or bathe. Just because I'm washing the dress in the water doesn't mean anything. Your feces will sit in the water otherwise. At least the dirt will be washed downstream. Uh-huh. Anyway, go hunt or something. I'm going to quickly clean this up, gather some clay, but I'll need you back in a few minutes.
You expect him to catch in a few minutes?
I don't know. Go have fun.
Roll a survival check for me. For the wolf.
Okay. I was about to say, for cleaning? For cleaning?
Absolutely.
He doesn't have survival as a class skill or as a skill at all.
It's a bad wolf. No wonder you always get lost.
He has a 2.
But remember, if you're talking about tracking, that would be through his perception.
You can use his perception instead if you would like.
Well,
but you can also, normally you track with survival.
No. For a wolf, they literally have tracking.
Because scent-based perception, yeah.
Yes, so that's a 9.
Okay.
So Aurora is currently at the river, and she is taking the dress and cleaning it essentially with the water, hoping that removes some of the bad odor. She sort of squeezes it. She doesn't wring it because that would stretch it, but she squeezes out the excess water. And then she puts the dress up on a nearby tree to dry.
Sure. You find a nice low tree branch that seems sturdy enough that it is getting a little bit of sunlight.
Okay. So she then goes around and starts collecting clay at the riverbank and putting it inside of the sack.
Roll a survival check to see if you find clay.
I was meant to find clay today.
You were meant to find clay. He was not meant to find animals.
That was a 23.
Very nice. You are able to find an ample supply of clay somewhat downstream from the river. You had to dig a little bit deep into the ground, but right aside of the riverbank, you find an ample supply of it.
Wonderful. I believe this will be of some good use. Wolf, she'll call.
You don't hear a response, but you do hear a sound off the distance.
Do I get a sense of what he's thinking?
You sense that he's very happy and content.
Either he's found a rabbit or a very good stick.
You can sense the direction he's in, and you can start walking your way over there if you would like.
She'll grab the dress.
Good. Glad you didn't forget it. You grab your dress and your sack, which is now filled almost to the brim with clay, as much as can reasonably fit and that you can carry.
Okay.
And you begin walking over to where you sense the wolf is. And you see he's just found himself in a sunny patch of grass, and he's rolling around in it, getting a good scratch and basking in the sun. And occasionally he'll jump up and try and bite at a butterfly, which is floating about.
Oh, dear wolf, I at least thought you would have found yourself a good stick.
And he bends down into the tall grass, and he picks up an absolutely massive branch that's like the size of you.
Wolf, you can keep the stick if you can fit it through the gate. Okay.
I modeled that scene after you because I saw you rolling around in the sun this morning.
Aw. Okay, so she will then begin moving back towards the gate and the village, or the city. Town of beginnings? City, even though it's called town.
It was a town, now it's more of a city. It grew, expanded. They haven't changed the name yet, very slow to adapt. You're able to find your way back to the main city gates without any difficulty, as you barely stepped off the main path, just a little bit down by the riverbanks. But you do notice that your wolf does have to pause at the gates for a moment, as his stick is too wide.
I told you, you can keep it only if it fits through the gate. No.
The wolf seems to set down the massive stick on the ground and then picks it up by one end only and begins dragging in the rather large log lengthwise instead of widthwise through the gate.
I question whether or not you're actually a wolf or somebody cursed to be a wolf. Either way, very intelligent. Yes. Let's head back to the Broken Wagon Inn quickly so that I can adjust, dry this off, and then hopefully Harrison does not see his room, but we make it back before he notices anything.
So you make your way down the main street up to the Broken Wagon Inn to the left. And you can see as those black soldiers still do seem to be looming about. As you pass them, they seem to be loading up large crates in the back alleyway.
She won't pay too much mind, but she'll just go in with the wolf.
The wolf seems to pause for a moment at the door.
Wolf, you cannot bring the stick in here. You cannot bring... If you want to... Fine, then you can stay out here with the stick.
And he just plops it down right outside the door.
Here, I'll just... hit... She puts it up, leaning against the wall. That way nobody steps over it or trips on it or steals it.
He seems offended by the thought.
What if somebody stole it?
He sits down and glares at the stick.
All right, come, Wolf.
He's sitting down and glaring at the stick, unwilling to budge.
Fine, Wolf. No more cured meat for you.
He seems to glare at you and then glare at the stick. He then picks up the stick, walks around to the side of the building, sets it down, and then walks back in.
Wait, did he walk over to where the black cloaked guards are?
Yeah, and he set it down in the shadows by the alleyway.
Do I hear them react to that?
A beast!
And then the wolf seems to pay them no mind and just walks away, but the guards do seem to be chattering loudly about it. And roll a perception check for me.
10!
And outside of that, you don't see or hear anything else until your wolf makes his way back and is just standing before you, waiting to enter inside.
All right. She'll open the door and begin to go in.
As you enter, you can tell that the mood has changed. It is no longer as cheery or joyous as it was previously, and it seems as if a number of the Black Cloak soldiers are now occupying the residency. And you can see that it appears as Matthew is talking and speaking with one of them as you slink your way inside.
I beg you to recall that the delivery was not scheduled to be picked up for 3 more days.
Indeed it was, but there has been a slight change of plans. A few of my associates and myself have been instructed that we will be requiring your services earlier than anticipated. Not without proper compensation, that is.
And you see the soldier grab something by his waist and then toss it, which is followed by a very dense and heavy clattering of coins as a thick purse has found itself now on the bar.
Well, due to the expedited nature of this transaction, I cannot guarantee that everything will be there.
Perfectly understandable. We'll send someone by at the end of the week to come collect whatever might remain.
All right. Well, have your boys finish up loading whatever's there.
Excellent. With all the newcomers to town, everyone was a little panicked, but I told them that we could always count on you to come through, Matthew. You always do.
After which, you see the black-cloaked soldier and Matthew turn and go off in opposite directions. Matthew heads off into the back of his establishment, and the black-cloaked figure begins walking towards you, towards the exitway.
She'll look at him as he walks out, but she'll begin walking towards the stairs with the wolf.
You notice as the individual is certainly donned in full plate armor, but it doesn't seem to have the same sheen about it, but rather a dull, matte black tint. It's hard to tell. It could just be the man's black cloak casting a shadow on the armor, or at least you assume it's a man. They have their hood up, and it appears that they're even wearing a metal helm underneath that covers all but their eyes and mouth. But you see as he leaves that the black-cloaked individual is smirking underneath his cowl as he walks outside, and he begins shouting a few more things to the rest of his cohort. But, seeing as this is none of your business, you make your way back upstairs to your room.
How dry is the dress at this point?
I mean, you were only there for a couple of minutes, maybe like half an hour at the most, right?
Mhm.
So, I would say it's damp, not sopping wet. There's no more like water dripping from it. It's just like be a little uncomfortable to wear.
Okay. She will hang it up near the window where the light is coming in through and essentially just leave it there to dry for a bit longer and then head back downstairs with the wolf.
All right, sounds good. Heading up the stairs, you make your way into your room and you hang up your dress by the windowsill for it to dry for a bit longer before heading back down. At which point, you find the tavern to be more vacant. The three individuals who were there before were still there when the Black Cloak Soldier was there, but it seems as if literally everyone has vacated the premises, and you don't even see Matthew at this point. It seems to just be you.
Oh. Well, I believe I was supposed to meet Harrison here. I'll wait a bit for him, and if he doesn't come, I suppose I'll just go back upstairs.
You hear a little bit of shouting coming from outside and the dropping of these heavy crates. Eventually, though, Matthew does seem to come back in, though the ruckus outside seems to continue.
Welcome back, Matthew. It seems you have a lot on your plate today.
Always. That's how you get to be a big and hearty man like myself.
What was all that about?
The Black Cloaks and I have a regular agreement, but they came earlier in which I was prepared for. Supposedly they were in a more urgent need of my supplies.
I don't mean to be rude, but what exactly are these supplies? This shipment that they're requesting?
Provisions mostly, though their demands have been steadily increasing in number. And from the sounds of it, it seems as if they had more individuals come in recently.
It sounds like they're amassing an army of their own. Why not just tell them to stop?
Well, you see, I either get the coin for it or they take it by force, so at least one way leaves me slightly better off.
If I was in your shoes, I would just kill them. It'd make it so much more simple. Unexpected responses from small lady.
We got it. Ah! I wish. If only we didn't find ourselves outnumbered and outarmed.
Well, of course they're going to outarm you and outnumber you. You've been feeding them. The more you feed them, the more come in. You must strip them of everything they have. Take away their food, and they starve. Of course, they might retaliate, but who's to say that that retaliation won't lead to an uprising of your own?
There once was a point that we had hoped we could overthrow them. Certainly a talk about a rebellion. But by the time we organized our strength, they had already amassed a large enough sum to hire this small army of mercenaries. That is when we found ourselves in the situation we are currently. By now, any thought of that has petered out. Most people have attempted to leave. Well, those who stayed either ended up in the position I am in now, or are dead.
I see. And who exactly are they? I heard something along the lines that your baron of this community was under some sort of puppet ruling. Are these those individuals that are controlling him?
The Baron will make it seem that these black cloaks work for him. But, from what I can tell, They seem to be a hired hand of someone else. Someone else commands the Black Cloaks, though the Black Cloaks do their job at defending the Baron. They certainly have their own ulterior motive.
Yes, I got the sense there was something darker about them. Well, as long as they don't bother me, they won't have a problem with me.
And I thought you only had spunk with Leopold. You have quite the refreshing personality, Miss Aurora. If only we had you a few months sooner.
Well, I can't say if I would have been here a few months sooner. I don't know what kind of person... She just stops there. Perhaps I would have been here a few months earlier if I had known. But then again, I don't have much reason to do anything about it. We shall see what information I garner from this healer in his courts.
As you are speaking with Matthew, you notice that once again the door opens, creaking similarly to before, and you do hear the heavy footsteps of full-plate mail. Turning around, you half expect to see a black cloak, as that's been just about all you've seen all day. Though, you are refreshed to notice that it seems to be Harrison, greeting you with a warm smile.
Ah, finally you've arrived.
You can see him significantly better now, thanks to the morning light. He's a tall chap, standing about 6'2". He has short, chopped, shaggy blonde hair, but overall very rugged features. He's clearly more mature than the boys you were speaking with earlier in the day, though Harrison does not look particularly old either. He's probably in his mid to late 20s, but there's a glint in his eye, one of hope, innocence, and a longing for adventure. He furls back his cloak as he approaches you and then takes a slight bow before offering his hand. Good morning, Miss Aurora. I hope you slept well, for we have quite the day ahead of us.
Oh, I slept. Whether or not it was well remains to be seen.
I tried coming by a little earlier, but it seemed as if you weren't here. Rather peculiar. You must be an early riser.
She pauses. I'm not sure what time of day I got up. I just know that when I did, I had some things to take care of.
Well, hopefully now that it's all settled, you're ready to head on out. We have quite a busy day ahead of us.
Yes, quite.
And he gestures for you to follow him.
Come, dear wolf. Grab your stick.
And he runs outside. Harrison begins walking out with you. And you meet Nichia outside with his very large stick.
You cannot bring that in when we go into the, what do they call that? A court? No.
You sense that he wants to give it as a gift to the Baron.
Very well, you can give it as a gift, but you can't keep slobbering on it. And look at that one end you've chewed. We'll have to break it off. Or maybe it's the slobber that makes it the gift. I see.
Harrison seems befuddled by the interaction which is undergoing, as it seems as if you are somehow communicating with this creature in ways he does not seem to understand.
While she catches sight of this reaction from him, she stops, realizing that this is not a normal thing. Yes, well, let's move on.
Indeed. Let us head this way. He seems to gesture, though he's taking a quizzical glare at you.
She'll climb on the back of the wolf.
All right. You saddle up, and you begin following after Harrison, who seems to be walking, and you are doing so in silence for a little bit, before he kind of just takes a heavy sigh. You know, this was once a bustling city.
Yes, I was told.
A strong mercantile state. But we were not prepared for the massive influx of travelers who swept through looking for supplies. For a long time, supply was short, prices were high, some goods couldn't even be gotten. Becoming a merchant importing things was the way to make a living. Everyone changed their entire lifestyles to accommodate the new influx of consumers. They sold their farmsteads, their very homes. They moved into the city center because that's what became profitable. We began expanding, becoming more of a town and more of a beacon in the center of this area.
I see.
Alas, it is no more. Just as quickly as the surge came, it then vanished. And the only person who ended up benefiting was the person who owned all the land. And that is he who became Baron, Sir Reginald Leopold III.
Tell me, Harrison, what is this Sir Leopold III like? What's his personality?
Well, he's more or less reasonable if you stay on his good side. He seems to have anger issues. Rather pompous,
Arrogant, must say. He likes to believe that he enjoys the finer things of life, but really, he's spoiled. But he gets away with it. He owns all the land around here. Technically, he can't own the city itself, but all the arable land surrounding, that's his. And no one can live without it. People have tried. They've tried going onward, somewhere else, but alas, here we are, with him as rule.
I see. So stay on his good side, and he is agreeable. And on his bad side?
Agreeable enough to leave you alone unless he takes a liking to you. Then that's when, in my opinion, you're in trouble. If he seems to take a liking to you, then he'll call on you at any beckoning whim he has. If he seems to dislike you, well, your life will be less than pleasant. I prefer to keep more of a middle ground, an innocuous relationship, in which I kind of skate just outside his vision. It seems that is the life which bears the most freedom.
I see. Harrison, before we head into this court area, I have fallen on hard times apparently, but I need a few things.
So it would appear. I'm glad to see that Matthew has at least lent you a dress, and I see you've found a lovely sack there.
Yes. Well, I didn't find it. The wolf found it.
How quite the resourceful creature and companion you seem to find yourself with.
Also very hard-headed and food-motivated.
He's just chewing on the stick as he walks.
Yes. I don't mean to be a bother, but I need your help in procuring some items. Never mind what they're for, just bring them to me. And once I'm reinstated in whatever manor that I come from, I will pay you back handsomely.
Certainly. If you would just like to write down a list, you can leave it with me and I'll see what I can procure. For now, it'll just be on Sir Prescott's tab, I presume. He said he would be footing your bill for a few days.
Yes, of course.
I look for a piece of paper. I have the journal entry.
Yes, I'll have to write that down later.
Certainly, no hurry. I wouldn't presume you'd do it as you walk. Anyhow, we are just about there. And you see, as he begins walking you up to the same gates that you were at earlier this morning.
Ah,
And the same guards are standing there as they take notice of you.
oh,
What? What are you doing here again?
I found the river.
Oh, is that any way to speak to a lady? Oh, Harrison! Oh, it's so good to see you. Well, I guess you're coming in. Papers, then.
Harrison looks a little nervous and then reaches into a satchel to his side and seems to pass the man a set of leather-bound documents. He hands it off to someone who begins thumbing through it. So that man kind of lets out a disgruntled sound of discontentment.
Ugh. Harrison, you know the rules. Your documentation checks out, but I don't see her papers.
And he kind of nods off to you. Well, you see, she's new in town. She doesn't exactly have travel papers.
Well then, Harrison, you know where the magistrate's office is. Go fill out the paperwork, and come back later when you've done so.
GM,
Yes,
I'd like to make this easier on both of us.
sure.
And I'd like to use dominate person.
That's a way of solving this, one would assume. What's the will save?
So it has a range of close. So what dominate person basically says is that you control the actions of any humanoid creature through a telepathic link that you establish with the subject's mind. And once you have given a dominate creature a command, it continues to attempt to carry out the command to the exclusion of all other activities except those necessary for day-to-day survival.
Harrison, come with me momentarily.
All right. Are you sure? We have to get through the gatehouse eventually.
Yes, well,
She'll ride a short distance away. With close, it is 25 feet plus 5 feet for 2 levels.
Okay.
I'm level 12, so that gives me... We
55
have...
feet.
Yeah.
So you take Harrison a short distance away and begin to have a conversation, though he looks a little confused.
Miss Aurora, we do have to get through there. I had the situation under control.
yes, well, he'll let us in.
Indeed, he will eventually, though. There are only 2 ways that I can think to get there.
She essentially almost waves her hand in the air towards the guard. It targets one humanoid, so I target the guard that we were talking to, making a undertoned chant in her voice.
Harrison eyes you up and down once again with concern, unsure of what is happening. What is the will save?
19.
Until eventually his attention is drawn elsewhere. It is to the guard in which you had just spoken with, who seems to have a glazed look in their eye, and he's waving you back over.
Charles, what's wrong with you? We should open the gate. Open the gates! But Charles, what's wrong with you? Well, perhaps the Baron will like to see her. She has an interesting aura about her.
All right, Harrison, I believe our entry has been secured.
Very, very well then. He stares at you somewhat concerningly, but he nonetheless gestures for you to follow him in.
Yes, onward.
Duh. It would probably be best if you stayed close to me for the time being, at least until we meet up with Sir Prescott. And do make sure that your traveling companion there is on his best behavior.
Do you hear that, Wolf?
Aurora.
All right, let us go then.
Making your way forward, now by Harrison's side, the massive double-door wooden gates swing wide open, revealing the ruckus that you heard from the other side of the walls. People. Lots of people. Vendors with stands, customers and patrons of all sorts, but most notably, lots, and I do mean lots, of these dark-cloaked individuals. You walk into a large circular courtyard with about 6 stands at the center of which everyone seems to be congregated. And here you can roll a perception check.
All right. Perception is 21.
There are numerous wagons and carts of all shapes and sizes all around you, and even more tents strewn about the place. Dozens of large tents, each that could easily sleep multiple people, even disregarding the size of the Baron's manor itself, which is massive in size. There are enough living quarters here to accommodate well over 200 people. Certainly, there could very well be that many people currently here. Numerous individuals are walking around, trading goods, wares, and even the occasional livestock. And making your way through the crowd, you do actually catch a glimpse of Sir Travis Prescott. He seems to be having a lively debate with one of the vendors. They seem to be having a disagreement, until eventually Prescott tosses some coin to the vendor and then turns to leave. He seems to be walking in the opposite direction of you, however.
Should we get his attention, Harrison?
Certainly. Sir Prescott! Good morning! Upon this beckon, Sir Prescott wheels around in the direction, scanning the crowd for but a moment before notice the pair of you standing there. Thankfully, due to your traveling companion, you stand out and sit about a head taller than most of the crowd. Oh, Harry boy, I'm so glad to see all is well with you. And my, might I say, Miss Aurora, you look most ravishing in that dress, despite Matthew's lack of artisan talent and taste.
Yes. Well, it is more than I had.
Thankfully, in what Matthew lacked, his wife had some. It would do your beauty no justice to be in a plain, paired set of bland tan cloth, like most of the common folk were around here.
I hope I don't stand out too much.
And she looks down at the wolf.
But then again, I don't think I can really help that. So, where is this healer that you promised?
Right this way, inside the main barony. Though truthfully, as to where we should start, I am somewhat at a loss. Have you found any of the scenery or any of the events as of to late to be aiding in any of your recollections?
I can't say that it has. I have already found myself getting lost in this city.
Certainly easy to do, especially with the lack of individuals to aid you along your way. Is there anything else that you might find yourself in dire need of that I might be able to give you in assistance for your endeavors?
I need some small items.
I have already spoken with her about these, Sir Prescott. Good on you, Harry boy. I knew you'd take the initiative. Well, then tarry not. While I take her in to see the healer, go ahead and fetch these things for her.
I tear off a corner of the paper that I borrowed from his room, and I scribble down the things that I need.
Fret not, Miss Aurora. I will be back post-haste. And he takes a slight bow.
Also, grab me a dagger while you're at it. I do need one.
Certainly, a lady such as yourself should not be without a tool for self-defense. And it seems as if Harrison passes you off to Sir Prescott and begins walking around about these various stands looking for some of the items in which you mentioned.
Travis, did you happen to bring your niece's cloth?
Indeed. What I have for you is one of her favorite shawls, and also one of her favorite scents of perfume. I didn't know if either of which would be helpful for you.
The perfume may be too strong for the wolf. However, if it is indeed her favorite perfume, the scent should already be on the shawl.
Hopefully this aids you, and hopefully you're able to remember something.
Yes, well, let us get this done with. The sooner we figure this all out, the sooner I get my memories back, and the sooner you can help your niece.
Very well then, right this way. Hopefully we can get some answers for the both of us today. Now led by Sir Prescott, you are able to make your way through these crowds and masses. A lot easier, in fact. You're beginning to notice that as you have entered further into the establishment, the masses of people which are gathering here are beginning to make way and part for you as you move forward through your path. Though you're not quite sure whether or not it's because you are now with Sir Prescott, who has some supposed sway among the people, or if it's the fact that you're riding a 5-foot-tall wolf. Though Sir Prescott does seem to make notice of this himself. I would say, Aurora, perhaps it would be best if the wolf stayed outside of the manor.
She looks down at the wolf.
Wolf, what do you say?
The wolf grumbles and looks down at the stick.
Inside? I cannot leave the wolf. He is a part of the identity. He has been with me since when I woke up in the woods, and it is likely that he has been with me since before that.
Very well then. I do hope that he can, however, contain himself and be on his best behavior, and hopefully does not cause any commotions inside.
He has a stick.
It is less so worried. I should clarify. I am less so worried about the wolf's behavior, more so as the reaction he might cause in others.
Isn't he part of my charm? Being a wild woman and all that.
Indeed. Here, let us make our way in to see Evangeline. And he gestures for you to walk through the doors.
She will go with the wolf.
All right, entering in this large, multi-storied manor, you can see it is supported by gray stone and massive pillars, and that there is a large red carpet that seems to stretch out in all of the various walkways. There are lots of twists and turns and corridors, but led by Sir Prescott, it seems as if he knows all of them like the back of his hand. You find yourself going to the right side of the wing of this massive manor. But from the left side, you hear a very boisterous and loud, clamorous sound. It sounds as if quite a party is being thrown with a large mass of people.
So is this entire inner circle his territory?
Well, after all, this would be, the Baron's estate. This is some of the private land he does own. He likes to keep those that he is in business with very close. He likes to keep those he is in business with very close by.
I can see that his treatment of his discernment towards certain individuals is great.
Preferential, to say the least. Thankfully, I found myself in his favor, though with what boons that brings, it does mean I am almost at his beck and call.
I see. Do you hate him?
Despise the living guts of the man, but alas, this is the world we live in. Those in structures of power are generally best to be on their good side.
Yes, it is good to stay on their good side, but it is wise to know whose is the right side.
Well, if you're looking at the sheer numbers, you can find anyone in a black cloak around here willing to lay down on a sword for the man, though that's more so incentivized by the coin than the sheer commitment and resolve. Though I think you might find Evangeline to be slightly more free-spirited, he says, as you actually begin making your way outside. It seems as if you have opened up another door and are going outside of the main manor to more of a back private garden, where there does seem to be a large tent set up, to which he unfurls one of the flaps of and gestures for you to go in.
All right. She'll proceed. She'll slide off the back of the wolf, but walk beside him, entering in.
Making your way into this tent, you see that it is a very large tent, and it is surrounded by very beautiful forms of nature. Various plants, bushes, and herbs are growing all around it, and as you enter, you see they are doing so inside it as well. Though this is certainly a tent, it seems to have permanent fixtures and even windows installed to it. There are numerous tables and shelves lined with glass vials and bottles of all sorts of mixtures. And before you, there is a very large wooden table before a fireplace and a woman standing behind it as she seems to be cutting up and dicing various herbs.
Aurora will approach in with the wolf, and she won't say anything. She'll observe momentarily.
Eventually, after he sees that you have made your way in thoroughly, Sir Travis Prescott follows quickly behind you. Good morning, my dearest Evangeline. You also, likewise with my companion, look ravishing as always. Oh, Prescott, you flatter me far too much. Though indeed a good morning it is. What have you brought for me today?
I don't know what it is he has brought for you, but I know that he has brought me.
Well, then the fates have bestowed upon me a mystery indeed. She seems to look up at you, and you can see she has wild red curly hair, which is long and flows all the way down her back. She seems to be wearing a long and flowy green dress and moves quite elegantly to you. She comes up and begins inspecting you. So, what is it that you have come to me for? Many have come to me for countless reasons.
I am looking for something that I've lost.
Your memories, it would seem.
Yes. I don't know exactly what happened to me, obviously. All I know is that I woke up in the woods one day and this wolf was there, and I was alone.
Well then, foolish girl, have you not thought to ask your companion what he knows?
She glares at the wolf. Do you know?
No.
He says he has no idea.
Your noble guardian here will probably know more than he lets on.
He is a brat.
I would say he has a personality.
Of a brat.
And indeed, he even brought me just what I needed. And she picks up the stick that he is carrying.
Aurora pauses for a second. And she has her finger raised, hold on a second, then she puts it down.
Of course, he is very wise.
Indeed, the fates have willed it so. They have brought you here, and they have brought what I have needed. I haven't had a good walking stick in quite a while. She stretches.
And Aurora's just thinking,
I thought that was supposed to be a gift for, what's this baron's name? Leopold III? Oh well.
Furthermore, though, I will need one of these. And she plucks a hair out of your head.
You could have asked for one.
You gave me permission when you came to seek my help.
I suppose that could be considered a correct answer, if we're going the roundabout way.
And she seems to pluck one of the hairs from the back of your wolf as well.
Deal with it. You're fine. You have plenty.
If you would, come back here and rest for a bit. I have a bit. I will be brewing up a few things, hopefully them to recall your memories. Though everything does not happen all at once, they will come in subtly, like visions.
She pauses and thinks.
Like visions, you say?
They could appear even almost as a dream.
And perhaps I'm already recovering on my own. I had a vision last night. Very strange one.
Oh, pray tell. The visions are windows to the soul. They can tell us even our future. Sometimes we know far more in our intuition than we understand in our conscience.
I was in a field of lilies. In the middle of the field there was a gazebo with swaying linen in this gentle breeze. And when I approached this place, there was a woman with long and dark hair wearing a long black gown. And she offered me tea. We had a brief conversation. She knew who I was, but she would not share more. And then I woke up.
Pardon me, though it may not be my place to say, but, the description you gave of this individual sounds uncannily like yourself, and the way and the attire that you addressed us the previous evening.
Yes, but she was not me. She was something more. I can't explain it.
more powerful.
Well, let us see if we can bring clarity to these visions. If you would, go lay down in the back. I will be with you momentarily.
So she walks towards the back and finds this area that was described to her.
It seems as if there are multiple couches, which on them are many cushions and blankets. They seem to just have been like a wooden structure, which she has attempted to make more comfortable. There are numerous of them, and you are able to rest in one of them for a time. Eventually, she comes back in carrying many things, and she even has Sir Prescott carrying many things as well. One of the largest problems with memories is that they are trapped, subdued by our surroundings. We take in so much information every second that we breathe that our subconscious cannot come out and flourish. This incense shall help to dull and sway you into ease. And when the time is right, hopefully the visions will return, she says as she goes around and she sets up multiple stands, little golden bowls all around you, and seems to be lighting something inside of each of them. Smoke begins to fill this back compartment of a room, and it is of a very sweet and smooth aroma. Now, for what your wolf knows, I feel is more than you can recall on your own. Sometimes our memories are stolen from us, but those who take them are not always the most careful. So, she hands you a cup.
What exactly is this?
Once you have entered into your subconscious more so, this will link your mind with the wolf's. You will be able to see as he sees and recall as he recalled.
I see.
Can I sense motive her?
Sure.
That is a 22.
You can tell that she has no ulterior motive in her actions and that she is attempting to perform her job as a healer, and in whatever means she has is attempting to help you.
Okay. So Aurora makes sure that she is situated on the bed so that she doesn't fall off on accident. And then she will tilt the bowl back and drink the broth in it.
You can feel as it is almost a slimy and textured substance. Something almost feels like a splinter is on your tongue.
Oh, excuse me.
But before you are able to get a response, you find yourself growing rather weary and dazed, and thankfully fall on the soft cushioned bed before you. Your vision shifts, and it goes back to one of the first memories you can recall, though the sight is not your own. In fact, it seems as if you are almost looking around you, circling, seeing yourself from another perspective. Eventually, you might be able to determine that you are seeing through the eyes of your wolf. You find that the vision is constantly shifting. You see the wolf loyally by your side as you laid on the forest floor, and you see it flash forward in time, back to when you were following the caravan through the forest. The wolf is able to sense that there are many people around as you are riding atop it, but more so it's able to see more clearly into the caravan wagon than you were, and you are able to see the visage of a young blonde woman who seems restrained in the wagon, one that you did not make note of before, or before you got too far, you were chased off. It continues even further with your vision, and you find yourself in what you assumed was your dreams. You remember the wolf was following beside you, but having dismissed it as something of a mental state, you find it odd that you can see through the wolf's eyes. Now, being separated from your own vision, you can see yourself standing next to the figure that offered you tea. And you two do look almost identical. And it changes one last time, though to a scene that you don't believe that you are ever a part of. You find yourself in a snowy landscape, in a bustling town. You're out with a number of people by your side. There's one man standing before you. He's dressed in dark clothes. He seems tall with blonde hair, and he has a snow-white owl resting on his shoulder. And you don't recall ever having been a part of this scene, though as your perspective turns through the eyes of the wolf, you see someone familiar. A woman of middle height, dark curly hair, pointy ears, though she wears a blue dress has a weird bear cloak on her shoulders, a rapier by her side. The outfit's really clashing, I gotta be honest, but I mean, like, it must be making do for her. You're unsure who any of these people are, but they feel like a distant memory. But very suddenly, it seems constrained. Something seems to embed itself into the snow and begin corrupting it as a blackness seems to swirl around this memory until it strangles out the sight of the wolf. And all you are left with is darkness. Until once again, you awaken.
Oh my. I will say, that tasted awful. But I did see some things.
She looks around to see if Travis is there.
It appears as if Travis Prescott is no longer in the room. And you find that the healer was sitting on a nearby couch near you. She's now sat and she's reading something.
She will attempt to get up out of the bed.
Okay, you may do so. Roll a fortitude save.
25 on my fortitude.
And can you roll one for your wolf as well?
23 for his fortitude.
Both of you are able to stand up, though you feel a wincing dizziness about you. But you're able to brace through it. Impressive indeed. Most people fall over and collapse after their first experience. It gets easier as time goes on.
Yes, well, as I said, the taste was not to mine, but I believe it did the job. Although I still can't recall much. I saw myself in the wood, the wolf alongside, at least what he saw. I believe I saw Travis's niece. Then there was someone else, in a place I've never been to. Is there a mountain or wintry area nearby? What season are we in?
Here we are in about fall, though the winters here are always very light.
I remember nothing, but I saw a strange snowy landscape. Tall figure with blonde hair, and then smaller woman. Pointy ears and wearing a blue tunic. But that's about it. I lost sight after that.
Finding oneself can be a very arduous journey. But now, you have taken the first step.
Thank you. I believe I shall find Travis.
He'll be right outside the tent. If I recall, he may have been requested to be speaking with the Baron, though I don't know if he has gone quite yet.
Thank you. I will look for him.
And with that, you take your leave, having had numerous visions today in an attempt to recall your memory. It's been rather eventful. And I think that is where we are going to end this session of A Tale of Remembrance.
Alrighty, foundlings. Looks like I'm doing the closeout for today. Well, we want to thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of A Tale of Remembrance. And we hope you'll stay tuned and hit that subscribe/that follow button in whatever podcast listening app that you are on. And you can also consider leaving us a rating or review in whatever podcast listening app that you're on, such as Podchaser or iTunes, where we kind of can see those things. Hey, and you know what? If you want, you can also share your review on Twitter and Instagram, and you can tag us on our social media account at @rolefound. And also, if you want to tell other people about the podcast, make sure you tag us first off, and also consider using the hashtag oddpod. That's AODPOD. Oddpod. Yeah, I know it's odd, but you know what? There's a reason for that. And if you are joining us for the first time in any of our podcasts and any of our campaigns, well, we hope that you'll use this as your jumping off point. And if anyone else has already listened to this podcast and you've heard all of the stories, then you know exactly why we use hashtag oddpod. Anyway, continuing on with that, make sure, guys, that you are telling other people to listen to the podcast, because you know what? They deserve to hear this awesomeness. This podcast might be the exact thing that they need to get started, right? They'll be just as confused as Aurora is. So maybe consider getting them started and hooked on the MRPF, Missing Role Player Found podcast. Yay! I've got a lot of words. I don't know what to do with this energy sometimes. Oh, right. Let me continue onward. So if you want to support us in other ways, consider going to our website, missingroleplayerfound.com. That's missing, ROLL newplayerfound.com, and you can visit our shop where we have merchandise. You can get hats, t-shirts, stickers, and other stuff as I add to the shop, because you know what? I'm the one who's adding stuff. Hey, and if you want something that's not in the shop, or you have ideas, or you just want to talk to us in general, you can join us on our Discord, where that link is in the description below, or you can also send us an email, info@missingroleplayerfound.com, same way you spell the website. Oh, and another way that you can support us is by going to our Patreon, bit.ly/support MRPF, where you can donate to the podcast monetarily and help out with production costs, and also kind of just let us know that we're doing a good job, because that'd be nice. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, guys. A review would also be nice. Please, I'm begging you here. Anyway, Foundlings, we'll see you in the next episode of A Tale of Remembrance, and maybe in any of our other podcast episodes. Yay! Bye, guys!